All right. Here we are. Round one, Riftbound Nexus Night here at Impact. And we are just getting started. Round one, we're having a little bit of fun here. Brennan's playing some Lee Sin for us, playing something a little different, a little off meta, and is playing Danny, who's still a pretty new player. He played at the release event, playing with a borrowed budget Yi deck here. So appreciate him coming on stream for us. So if you were watching this on Twitch or if you're watching it later on YouTube, be nice. Danny's a new player. He's kind enough to join us on stream. Red face cam is not working tonight as usual, but Brennan is off to the races with a turn one Poro followed by a Sona on point. Brutal start. Brutally good. I also just realized I forgot to give them their tablet for the score. So, going to be a minute of dead air here. Give me a second while I get them their tablet for the score. All right, there we go. Now we're in business. Back to Brennan. Looks like we got a first mate backing up that Poro over there on Vilmoz as Brennan starts to take his next turn here. Battlefields are Vilmoz Lair, which everybody knows, and then the other is Monastery of Harana, which when you conquer there, you can spend a buff to draw a card. For those unfamiliar. Pretty much only ever run occasionally by Set and Lee Sin. See, my webcams are already far behind, lagging behind. Might just end up turning those off. All right, Brent's going to spend 3 and recycle a rune. Play some Caitlyn. Not a unit that sees a whole lot of play. And buff up the Kate. Caitlyn, for those unfamiliar, is a 3-might unit. She has to be assigned damage last, so she's kind of reverse tank. And then she also has an activated ability to spend her, and she can deal damage equal to her might to a unit. I believe it has to be a unit at a battlefield. Yeah, a unit at a battlefield. Had to double check that one. Don't see a lot of Caitlyn. But Danny's going to get started here on his turn, playing some Clockwork Keeper to base. Brendan is helping Danny out with some rules a little bit here, helping him get going. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, Danny is still pretty new. This is round one, so we try to get on players that haven't been on stream before, decks that we don't see a whole lot of in the case of Lee Sin. So again, appreciate Danny coming on stream for us, even though he's still pretty new. Caitlyn's gonna ult across the battlefields there and take out that first mate. As Brennan pulls the Poro back to base. Brennan's gonna play a Spirit's Refuge. Give his buffed units deflect. Do some rune math. Yep, looks like he's explaining the rules. Looks like if I had to guess from his pantomime, he's probably explaining how you can spend a rune and then recycle it. Might even be explaining how you can float an energy and recycle it. Say we got an arena bar coming down. Boy, Lee Sin is off to the races here. A really nice sequence of play the last few turns. Poro into Sona, into a buffed Caitlyn, into a bar and a Spirit's Refuge. All right, let's see what Danny can get going here. Doing a good job so far keeping up with Brennan's much scarier board presence. Looks like he's going to shove all in here. The Warwick and the Clockwork Keeper. Have his work cut out for him, though, here with the double buffed units. He's going to activate the Flurry of Blades, which does 1 to all units at battlefields. Of course, probably would have been a better idea to do that first before attacking. Again, I'm going to keep reminding folks at home so everybody's nice on YouTube and on Twitch. Danny is new, like very, very new. He just played the pre-release and that was it. Did get defied, so didn't end up mattering. Oh, looks like we're defying again, though. So Flurry's still on the stack. We defy the defy. Now the Flurry's going to go off, presumably. Ping everybody for 1. Yeah, of course, the big miss here, obviously, for those watching at home, you would have wanted to Flurry first before attacking, damage everything at the battlefields, and then move in with Warwick. And Warwick would kind of clear everything out. Now Brennan kind of has the opportunity to on guard and do some shenanigans of his own, which will allow him to save the Caitlyn. Brennan gets going here with his turn. Yeah, Brennan does hold, go to 4. We got some viewers streaming in now. Thank you everybody for joining us here at Impact Gaming Center's Riftbound Nexus Nights. Like we said in our Go Live announcement, countdown to Spirit Forge has begun. Got 4 more Nexus Nights after tonight, and then we will be at the pre-release for Spirit Forged. Very exciting. I know a lot of people are already kind of chomping at the bit to get their hands on Spirit Forge. Mix up the meta a little bit. I think everybody, including those that play her, have seen enough Kaisa for a lifetime at this point. Here comes Lee Sin out of the champ zone to back up Caitlyn. But it's funny, every Nexus night I go around as I'm taking registration for the tournament. I get a full list of the players and what they're playing, legend-wise. And almost without fail, everybody that even plays Kaisa, even the people that play Kaisa always answer, Kaisa. Like they're ashamed of playing her. Which, you know, if you're a Kaisa player, you should be ashamed. All right, back to Danny. My phone is blowing up. I am not this popular. Wielder of Water, going to pass it back over to Brennan. Yeah, Brennan is looking in good shape here. That slight Warwick misplay last turn with the Flurry of Blades was pretty critical. Yeah, thank you for joining us here at Impact Gaming Center's Riftbound Nexus Nights. We are located in Fairview Heights, Illinois. That's just 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. So really, we consider ourselves in St. Louis regionally. Poro coming down, Arena Bar, going to buff it up. Yeah, just 15 minutes from downtown St. Louis. If you're in the area and you've never been in before, come check us out. We are your one-stop shop for pretty much every gaming need you got, whether it's board games, miniature gaming like 40K or Age of Sigmar, or any card game imaginable from Pokemon to One Piece to Magic to Riftbound to Gundam to Card Fight and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, just pile them all in, buff up a Misfortune and add her to the pile and see what Danny can do. And unfortunately, I don't think there's much he can do. Yeah, definitely not with 2 on guards and I'm sorry, 2 disciplines and an on guard in hand. That's pretty much going to wrap her up, I think. Yi enters ready. So Brennan has tapped out. The Yi would be able to clear out Vilema's lair without too much trouble. He can come in and the Yi and the Wielder of Water with all the buffs, yep, that he has in hand. Might as well play him. Hopefully Brennan explains to do that after he attacks. Oh, I don't think you want to go in there. I don't think that math is mathin'. Yeah, because Fortune's a 6. Caitlyn's a 4. Lee Sin's a, 7? So, yeah, that would make more sense. It's going to be GG either way, but Yep, clears those off pretty easily. Gonna go to 4. Gonna have to pass back to Brennan. Looks like Brennan's webcam is frozen. Yep. They're gonna wrap up game 1 there. And do a little sideboarding. I don't know that Danny's got one with his borrowed budget E deck, but Brennan do a little bit of sideboarding probably, and then we'll jump into game 2. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Walked out there, chatted with the players a little bit. Brennan had already kind of discussed with him some of the things that I went out there to talk about, but I was just helping Danny out, pointing out in the future how he wants to handle the Flurry of Blades Warwick combo, the order he wants to do that. Make sure he knows to, before he on guards, to send in the first, so that he's alone. Because obviously, if you on guard Yi in base, when there's another unit in base, he'll only get +1, not the +2. So just some basic stuff for a new player that's still getting used to the rules. But Brennan had been talking to him about that stuff. Brennan, longtime player here at Impact. Brennan's fiance, Desi, works here at Impact. They've been coming here pretty much since they moved here, and I think they moved here 6 or 7 months ago. They've been coming here ever since. Brennan's a great guy, very, very friendly, very, very helpful, great player, very good commander player, and an encyclopedic knowledge of cards. But pretty much across all games, he is very helpful in that regard. When I'm behind the counter and there's some old Magic card even I don't remember, I can usually, if Brennan's around, I can usually ask him to remind me of the casting cost or whatever else, and he'll usually remember. So very helpful. But we're getting going here into game 2 as Brennan's wrapping up his sideboarding. As I was saying earlier, come in and join us at Impact anytime. We'd love to see you. If you're not local to the area, you can check us out online at impactgamingcenter.gg, where you can check out our full store inventory there. We have very, very competitive prices, especially on our board games. So if you're a board game player in particular, come check us out. You'll find many of our board games are below Miniature Market, below Amazon, and other things, and we can ship pretty much anywhere in the world. We'd be appreciative of your business. If you don't shop from us, here's your friendly reminder to, if you can, always shop from your friendly local game stores and not from Amazon.com. Jeff Bezos has plenty of money. I know it's convenient. I know it's tempting. But how about the little guy? Or the medium guy, in our case. All right, Brennan's shuffling up. These players are going to get going. Danny's probably going to be on the play, I would assume. But that'll be up for him to decide. Brennan will probably talk him through it, the decision. He's not the worst legend in the world to go second on, but I don't believe in Danny's borrowed deck here, his kind of budget E deck. I don't think he's playing any kind of ramp. I don't think it's like a ramp E of any sort, so probably strictly wants to go first. But they're getting going. We'll see what battlefields we got here momentarily. Grove the Godwillow. Sorry, somebody was chatting at me in my headset. Grove of the Godwillow and looks like Reaver's Row for battlefields this game. These are two battlefields that I think everybody's pretty much familiar with at this point in the game. But Grove of the Godwillow, of course, when you hold, you draw. And Reaver's Row, when you defend, you can pull a unit back to base. Two of the most popular, most played battlefields in the game. Got a turn one Clockwork Keeper from Danny before we pass it over to Brennan, who's going to channel a few runes, draw a card, and see what he can get going here. I think I see maybe a Sona. So you're just going to turn one Finder Center. Looks like it. A little very low-key ramp from Lee Sin here. Finder Center, pass it back over. First mate, Charm. Warwick. I think that was a challenge. Clockwork Keeper moving up. Take a point. Brennan probably pointing out that, yep, Clockwork Keeper does need to spend to do that standard move. Yeah, it was a challenge in his hand, it looks like. .40 from Brennan. First unit of the game for him. Followed by a Spirits, whatever. Refuge? He just played it last game, and now I'm suddenly like blanking on the name of the card. I think it's Spirits Refuge, right? Spirits Refuge. I'm not crazy. Buffing up the Poro before passing it back over to Danny. See a Primal. Not a bad hand from Danny right now. Yep, hopefully Danny remembers or understands how Spirit's Refuge works with Deflect, because that Poro does have Deflect right now. Just thinking about Charming. Brennan does have 2 runes available. First mate moving up to capture. To conquer, rather. Let's go to 3. First mate is spent, but probably not going to matter. Brennan's got a mess of runes now. See what he decides to do with them. Looks like it's Lee Sin. Moving in big on that first mate. Surprisingly, Brennan looking to take that girl with the God Willow and hold it. Drawing 2 cards a turn is unsurprisingly very good. Best thing he can really hope for here is probably to do some trading here. Looks like he's thinking about Primal. Yep. Pretty good, pretty good. Forgot he was holding the Primal. Nice little blowout there from Danny. Good play. 2 for 1 in, managing to hold the point. Gets him an extra draw. Let's see if Danny can sneak in a little cheeky win here with his budget deck. He's certainly got the head start, and Brennan is looking dead on board. See a Poro in hand, and on guard. Need some units. I think Asona's hiding in there. Danny's sitting pretty with full 6 available runes, 1 unit on each battlefield, making on guards very, very possible and scary. I think if I'm Brennan here, I'm just playing as many units as I can to base and building up for hopefully a big clapback next turn. So if he overextends here and tries to sneak a point off, yeah, there's Lee Sin. Is he gonna try and go for it? Because boy, a couple buff spells from Danny here would just be a blowout. He's eyeing that challenge in hand. Oh, he's got the tasty Fae Folk too. Gross. What's he doing with the challenge here? I don't think... I think Brennan's saying, yeah, you can do that. But the Lee Sin will just kill your first mate. Yep, definitely a misplay there. Again, Danny, a very, very new player, agreed to be on stream with us here so we could see some Lee Sin action. Gonna buff the Lee Sin. Brennan is at 1. Yep, just got it. It's gonna pass it back over. Danny's gonna jump up to 6. Nope, just 6. Yep. So Brennan is tapped out. So Lee Sin is at 7. So what can he do with... He's got what? A Tasty Fae Folk in hand. Yep, he does come in ready. Boy, does he not have any buffs in hand? Guess it really wouldn't have mattered. He wouldn't have had the runes to do much with it anyway. Not much reason to pull the Clockwork Keeper back because he's sitting on Reaver's Row, so he could have pulled that back anytime he wanted when he got attacked. So might as well just keep it there. I'm going to pass back to Brennan, who's going to jump up to 2 on the hold. He already drew for the Grove of the Godwillow. Going to draw for turn. Brennan's starting to get some nasty stuff in hand now. But now he's got to make sure that Danny doesn't come out of nowhere next turn with a surprise accelerate or anything else that can shake him off both those points. Pretty unlikely now that he played the Sona there. He's going to have infinity runes on his opponent's turn thanks to Sona's trigger. Buff up the Sona with Lee Sin. Give her Deflect thanks to the Spirit's Refuge. Pass back to Danny, who's going to go to 7. The upside down runes. Wilder Water, Tasty Fae Folk, got a Warwick, got a Charm. Well, he definitely has a line to win here, but I don't know that he's going to go for it. He has to hope Brennan has no buffs in hand. He could charm the Lee Sin over or back out, and then just move the Yi into the Sona and try and take it for the 8th. That's assuming that Brennan has no interaction in hand, which I don't know if he does or not. I haven't been able to keep track of Brennan's hand, but the Tasty Fae Folk is probably not the play here. As tempting as it is, obviously, to slam a big unit accelerated down onto the field, doesn't actually let him play for the win here. Gonna change places there with the Tasty Fey folk, sure. I think if I'm Danny here and my game plan is hold point to win, I am not moving anything off of that row. I think I am throwing that Yi on top of it, keeping the keeper there. But I think I would have gone for the charm line. Got a judge call. I will be back. Rules question there. Asking if the Tasty Fey folk moving in creates a showdown. It does. It's non-combat showdown, and he can't conquer because he's already scored that turn, but it does provide Brennan the reaction window he needs to play some spells. That's just because of the way Danny sequenced his moves. Obviously, if he had moved the Fey folk in and then the Clockwork Keeper out, there would have been no showdown. Yeah, and this is kind of what I was saying a minute ago before I had the judge call. Probably would have just kept that Clockwork Keeper in. If the game plan is hold on to the Reaver's Row for dear life, just pile them all in there. So now can Brennan shake the Fey folk and the Yi off this point? Has to, or he loses. But he's certainly got the runes. 3, 6, 10 runes. No, I'm sorry. 3, 6, 9, 11 runes. Yeah, seen on guard. Meditation. Meditation, not a card that sees a ton of play, despite being pretty good. But lets you exhaust a unit to draw 2 cards. Draw 1 if you don't, but you'd pretty much never do it just for the draw 1. The Lee Sin, of course, does not have ganking. So no way to get that Lee Sin over with what's in Brennan's hand, unless I'm not seeing something, but Discipline the Poro. Digging for cards, it looks like. Got an orange card there. Can't quite see what it is. Looks like a primal sitting in Brennan's hand. So that's going to come out for sure. So Poro moves in. I think Brennan's pointing out now's the time to retreat a unit if he wants to. Danny does choose to just pull his Yi back. With Brennan's 7 runes open, handful of cards, yeah, I would probably pull the Yi back as well. Probably just accept that Brennan's probably going to be taking that point. Could be bluffing, obviously, but with like 5, 6 cards in hand and 7 available runes, I'm going to assume you're not bluffing. Yep, there's the primal. Makes a big old Poro, because that Poro is already disciplined. So blow up the Tasty Fey Folk, trigger the Death Knell. Draws it on guard. That's pretty good. So now in hand, he's got On Guard, he's got Charm. So once again, we're in a situation where he could possibly do something at the Grove of the God Willow with the Yi next turn, but unfortunately now, it would not win him the game. But Brennan will conquer there, go to 3. And Brennan's going to go ahead and tap out, get that arena bar to buff his Poro. Ready up 4 runes, thanks to Sona. Danny's rune structuring is killing me. See more people joining us here on stream. Thank you so much for being here. Riftbound Nexus Nights here at Impact Gaming Center in Fairview Heights, Illinois. Basically St. Louis, Missouri. Got some round 1 fun for you guys. Got a Lee Sin in the shop today. Brennan decided to pilot some Lee Sin, so I figured I'd get some Lee Sin on stream. Never had Lee Sin on stream before, and he's playing Danny, who is pretty much a brand new player. He's only played like a few games of Riftbound before. He's borrowing his buddy Carter, who's been on stream before, borrowing just a budget Yi deck, having some fun here. So there's Warwick. Alrighty, Warwick. Charm. No, don't. No. He paid for the ward, but he recycled a ready rune. Charms the Poro off. Oh, the Yi. Interesting. Okay. Moves the Yi in, draws the card because he can't score the 8th point. The charm there, of course, may have been better spent in other ways. But that's all right. Like we said, Danny, still very new to the game, still kind of learning the ropes. And getting reps in and making misplays and identifying them afterwards, that is how you get better. Another Spirit's Refuge. Got an On Guard. Brennan's hand is full of gas. Danny's going to have a hard time getting this 8th point, I think. Especially with that Sona sitting there, ready to give Brennan half his runes back every turn. Holy cow, it's a new deer. It's a buff new deer. Udyr doesn't see a lot of play, but cool card. It's one of those cards in Riftbound that it's basically a magic card. It has an activated ability to spend a buff, and then it has a bunch of modes, which I don't even remember what all the modes are. I think one's like deal 2 damage to a unit. Another is like maybe spend a unit. I guess I could look. Ganking, stun, deal 2, and ready. Those are the 4 modes. So we're going to use our Lee Sin Legend ability, probably to buff Udyr again. Keep burning through the modes. I don't know what he chose on the first one. I wasn't really paying attention. It might have been how he readied him. It was probably how he readied him. So burn it again. Probably stunning the Yi. Either stunning or doing 2 to it. I would think probably stunning, because then Brennan can just move his Poro and his Udyr in to kill it. Oh, nope, he did 2 to it. Another arena bar. Good lord. buff Udyr again. All right, so now we're going to stun the Yi. Almost certainly. Oh, no, he just keeps the buff on him. Okay. I think if I'm Brennan there, I just spin the buff and stun the Yi. Unless he's already stunned, maybe? Just going to decide to pull him back, though, with the Reaver's Row. Brennan's going to pass turn, ready up 4 runes thanks to the Sona sitting on the Grove of the God Willow. Kiana and Discipline in hand. I'm sorry, Kiana and On Guard in hand with the first mate. Didn't see what else was hiding in there. Kiana. Poro, first mate. Spin runes, first mate triggers. Ready's the Kiana. Well, Danny's got some might ripping and ready to go. Boy, he needs a Flurry of Blades. Flurry of Blades would be huge here. Assuming Brennan doesn't just defy it. There's the Flurry. But now he can't spend it, or he can't do it. Looks like they're doing some might math. Goodness gracious. Look at this board state. Looks like we're playing Commander. You can tell Kaisa's neither one of these legends. Pile them in, sure. Sona's a 7. Lee Sin's a 7. Sona, of course, a 7 thanks to the Lee Sin, giving her +2 because she is buffed. So 14 might versus like 17 might, I think. Could be off by 1 there. $18 might? Kill everything but the Warwick. Should draw a card here off the Conquer. Yep. I think that's what they're talking about. Yeah, there's the extra draw. Another Kiana. Pretty good. Poor Warwick is sitting real open and vulnerable, though. Drew the Flurry of Blades, 1 card too late. Rough. Very possible he could have won there if he had the Flurry of Blades 1 card earlier. Could have Flurry of Blades 1 point to clear it out with the Warwick and then all end on the other. Spin the buff. Don't know what he did with it. He didn't ready. He didn't do 2. Did he maybe stun the Warwick? Oh, he gave him ganking. Okay. Gave himself ganking. Now he's going to gank over. 7-5. Nothing the Warwick can do about that. 7-7 on score. And I don't think there's much Danny can do now. Yeah, I see 2 on guards in Brennan's hand. He's going to be ready in... Oh, no, he's not. I'm sorry. Sona was killed. Is that a... I think it is. Is that a Tarek? No, what card is that? No, it is Tarek. So Tarek is, I believe he's 4 might shield tank and gives everybody shield at his battlefield. I think he's 4 might. Shield 1, tank, gives everything shield 1 at his battlefield. Buff. Who are we buffing? Buffing the Kate. Buffing the Tarek. Udyr +2 arena bars in play is just... It's not oppressive by any means, but it is super cool. Super fun. with Lee Sin Legend, just casually being able to activate 3 of Udyr's 4 modes every turn. Skiana, for good measure, sure. Don't think Danny has a single out here. There's a bunch of mites sitting on that battlefield. 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say it's 11. Because Tarek's 4 plus his buff is 5 plus shield is 6. Poro is 2 plus shield is 3 plus bluff is 4 plus Tarek's granted shield is 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11, I believe. And then the other battlefield is 6, 7, also 11, I believe. Brennan is tapped out, so that is that. Those are what the mites are. It's time in the round. And that is GG's. So Brennan is going to take it. Go to 1-0. The victor of round 1 here at Riftbound Nexus Nights. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm trying to mess with my webcam, but it is not working. Was going to pull it back to the booth, so I'll save you all the punishment of seeing my face. But thank you for joining us for round 1. Congrats to Brennan. GG's to Danny. We're going to end it there. We'll be bringing you round 2, starting here probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes. So hang out with us. We will be back. And whether I see you in the next round or the next video, take it easy, stay safe. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to make an impact.